Yesterday evening, I realized that almost half of the 100 largest companies being listed at the London Stock Exchange have had to revise their ESG reporting. And you know where the key issues are in the greenhouse gas sector, with the data there, and in particular when it comes to Scope 3 emissions. So it's all about data, it's about building trust in data, because that enables you to fulfill the reporting alphabet soup, but as well, this is the basis to steer your company and manage your company holistically. What I would like to achieve in these 20 minutes is to encourage you to accelerate on your sustainability journey, because that is needed. I would like to do that through going through 3 steps. First, why sustainability has clearly evolved to be a core business topic of strategic relevance. Then second, why I'm proud not having a sustainability strategy at SAP. And then third, I would like to connect sustainability with innovation. So let me start with the first one. Why sustainability has clearly evolved to be a core business topic of strategic relevance. And let's look through the lens of the stakeholders of SAP. So our employees told us, with 93% of them, of the 106,000 employees we have globally, they told us how important it is for them that SAP pursues sustainability seriously. The talents we would like to see to apply for a job at our company, for them it's even more important. Just 2 weeks ago, I had a coffee corner, a virtual coffee corner, with the sales academies or the new joiners in the field in sales functions. That was so inspiring for me. They told me it was inspiring for them, but it was really inspiring for me. How they prepared, how they introduced the topic, how engaged they are, what they are already doing. Wonderful to see. So for the talents we would like to see to apply for a job for them, it's even more important compared to the existing employee base with 93%. Let's look at our customers. Of course, many companies start on their sustainability journey by delegating it first to the suppliers. That's the easiest thing to do. So we, as a supplier of them, we need to fulfill certain aspects. And they ask these questions like, do you have a greenhouse gas emission reduction target? And you report transparently on that. Do you have a human rights and labor standard commitment in place? Do you have an environmental management system which is certified? If you can't say yes, yes, yes to these questions, there's a huge risk to be out of business, independent how beautiful your software is. License to operate. Second, our customers, and we have 400,000 around the globe in each and every sector, they expect from us digital solutions, as they are used to. They use our systems for 5 decades to run and manage their material flows, their financial flows, so they expect that we embed sustainability data in the data models. That would allow them to have the data in their hands when a decision needs to be made in a connected fashion, non-financials and financials, and not 4 or 5 months after fiscal year is over and then doing the reporting part. Then you can't steer your company accordingly. And then third aspect, license to operate, then digital solutions is, of course, co-innovation. They understand they need to change the business model. They need to challenge themselves about their product portfolio, moving more towards sustainable product offerings. And that is why co-innovation is a crucial part. And an example is circularity. We need to understand that you need to share data across company boundaries or even industry boundaries and not keeping them in your own house. And let's look at the third stakeholder group, the investors. 10 years ago, we at SAP, we had 5.6% coming from the so-called socially responsible investor niche during that time. 5.6% of our institutional investors applied ESG criteria in order to decide to invest in SAP shares or not. Do you know what the number is today? 40%. 40%. And that is a wonderful part of the overall beautiful business case, because our CFO, Dominic Assam, he loves these investors because they do not purchase the shares today and sell them tomorrow. They are more mid and long-term oriented, and that helps a lot in these super volatile capital market days we are all in to stabilize your share price. And then finally, regulation. There's such a lot of dynamics there, so companies like ours need to comply with them. So all these aspects, these increased stakeholder expectations leads to that Systemd is clearly a core business topic of strategic relevance. And that leads me to my second part, why I'm proud not having a Systemd strategy at SAP. Now let me start by sharing some learnings out of our 16 years of Systemd journey. And I had the privilege to be part of that journey from day number one on. I remember quite well 2009, beginning of 2009, when I tried to have the buy-in of the executive board members about our first greenhouse gas emission reduction target. And I told them, I recommend to have a target in 2020 being back on 2000 levels with regard to our greenhouse gas emissions at SAP. Do you know what the first reaction was of these board members? Daniel, wonderful target, it's easy to remember. 2020 down to 2000. But the second reaction was, oh, it's an absolute target? You know, we would like to grow, and now we know that in 2020 we were 4 times bigger than in 2000. So it sounds super ambitious. How do we will achieve it? And then my quite risky answer was to them, I don't know. But by having such an ambition, we will start to think differently, we will start to decide differently, we will need to be creative and innovative. And let me share some of these aspects. Number one, back in the end of the year 2013, I realized that our former CEO, Bill McDermott, he wants to come up with our new business strategy with a headline, being the most innovative cloud company. So I reached out to him and said, Bill, if we would like to be the most innovative cloud company, we need to offer the solutions to our customers out of a sustainable cloud. And he said, yes. And then I told him that means not only purchasing 100% renewables for all the data centers and co-locations, but as well for all the offices worldwide. And he said, yes. So proudly I went back to my boss, Peter. I said, Peter, Bill said yes. And Peter told me, that's wonderful, but do you have the money for the renewables of high quality? And that, but 2 weeks later, I got from Bill's board reserve, the budget transfer, in order to empower us to do the right things and purchase renewable electricity of high quality. But then, so that is one example that it's so important to combine your environmental strategy with a business strategy. Number two, I realized, okay, getting a one-time board reserve will not be enough going forward as we have a strong increase of investments being needed. So what we did is we established a price on carbon already back in 2015. And it's not a price per ton, it's just a price per ticket in a very simplified way. Controlling did an amazing job using SAP tools, of course, to do that in an automated fashion. So whenever an SAP colleague is sitting in a plane on SAP purposes, Daniel gets money. So that empowers me to do the right things and to offset the flight emissions, but as well to invest like in renewables of high quality. Let me share another example. Back in 2012. A colleague came to my office and she said, oh, Daniel, it seems like that Systemd is not any more important. And if you put yourself in my shoes, I was shocked. Telling the 3 kids at home that dad is helping to save the world, I'm being so passionate and enthusiastic about the topic at SAP. And then a colleague is saying, oh, it seems it's not any more important. And I asked her why you were saying that. And she said, I couldn't find the Systemd report anymore. And I was so proud not having a Systemd report anymore. But obviously I made a big mistake, not communicating that in the right way, not having the employees with me on that journey because I was so proud, moving away from an annual financial report and an annual sustainability report and integrating that, following the integrated reporting path. So you see how important it is to link your business strategy with your sustainability strategy. That is why it's so important to move away from having a business strategy in an isolated way, a sustainability strategy. You need to integrate that and move to having a sustainable business strategy. And by the way, coming back to our greenhouse gas emission target, we achieved that target already 3 years ahead in 2017. The next natural step was to become carbon neutral in our own operations, meaning scope 1, scope 2, and 6 of the selected scope 3 emissions. We pulled forward that target by 2 years due to the learnings of the pandemic. Yeah, less flights, less commuting, more moving to the hybrid world. It's great to have here as well a virtual opportunity to have people not needed coming to London and joining these sessions here at Sustainability Live. So that is a beautiful example of the learnings of the pandemic. And then the next step was, and we pulled forward that target by 20 years to be net zero based on the Science-Based Target Initiative methodology by 2030. That is, again, a huge challenge, a huge ambition, and we need to learn on our way how to achieve that. So let me go deeper on the topic of our sustainable business strategy. So it starts with the purpose of helping the world run better and improving people's lives. That is SAP's purpose. It's such a powerful purpose. It's such a strong sustainability statement. It couldn't be better from my perspective as the Chief Sustainability Officer. And then the vision is about to bring the best out of every business. And the best is defined through 3 pillars: agility, value chain, and sustainability. And all the 3 are heavily connected. So sustainability is a corner, is one of these 3 pillars being connected with the other 2 of our core business strategy. So this topic will not go away at SAP. It's independent of people, and I'm super proud of that achievement, that we have moved from a sustainability strategy to having a sustainable business strategy. And if we go deeper there, we need to fulfill 2 roles. One is clearly to be an exemplar, to have that ambition to be a role model of a sustainable company. Otherwise, we would not learn, and it would be not credible to act as an enabler, helping our customers to become more sustainable and execute their more and more sustainable business strategy. And we have defined 4 focus areas. Number 1, clearly climate action, being relevant across all sectors and internally as well. Second, circularity, contributing in a significant way, 45% significant contribution to bringing down greenhouse gas emissions. Third, social responsibility, and then going across these 3 pillars, steering and reporting, holistic steering and reporting. Reporting is just the basis, steering is where the music plays. And that leads to the third and final topic I would like to address, building the connection between sustainability and innovation. And we could lean back at SAP and say, oh, we helped for 5 decades the companies to be as efficient as possible to deal with the financial, the material, and the human resources. But efficiency alone, with that, don't get me wrong, it's super important. But with that alone, we will not tackle and solve today's societal challenge. So we need to do business in a different way. We need to challenge ourselves, our business models, our portfolio, our products, the processes. And that is why sustainability is such a beautiful and powerful innovation driver. And I would like to change that vision some of us have currently due to the regulation dynamics, that corporate sustainability teams are checking the box compliance teams and not showing the added value anymore of sustainability. But sustainability is such a powerful innovation driver. And just to share 2 or 3 examples. Number 1, we are quite famous for financial accounting. Yeah, the auditors trust our system. The customers are using our systems for the financial accounting world. Why not applying these learnings from the financial accounting to the carbon accounting? And there, and I'm talking not about an innovation far away in Horizon 3, I'm talking about an innovation which will be on the market end of this year, beginning of next year, We call it the green ledger. So by doing that, we embed systemd data in the data models. So it is embedded in the business process. That allows you to have the data in front of you when you make when you decide. And that allows you to really steer your company holistically, because that leads to better business decisions, to better business results, and that ensures the mid and long-term success of your company. I could continue to share now AI examples, so no presentation these days without mentioning artificial intelligence, like ESG, carbon emission factor mapping, because we definitely going forward, we will have a hybrid world. We need to move from averages to actuals, meaning to have real accurate data in your hands to decide accordingly. Like recently, a CSO of a car manufacturer told me, Daniel, today I can't differentiate if the steel comes from a Canadian supplier or a Chinese supplier, because we just apply averages, third-party data from life cycle assessments. So then you can't make informed decisions. You need accurate data. That is why the green ledger makes a huge difference, why embedding carbon emission mapping in the landscape of hybrid world, where not every supplier of you can provide you the carbon footprint of the product they deliver to you. So you have a combination of spend-based average numbers and actual data. So there AI comes to the play, or when it comes to bringing down the manual efforts to support the alphabet soup of reporting standards. And that is a huge, huge benefit. So we just recently integrated the AI-based reporting generator in our systemd control tower solution. And our solution is anyhow ERP-centric, because a lot of your data are already in your ERP system. It is cloud-based and it is AI-enabled. So you benefit from these technology advancements. So hopefully I was able to share with you why systemd has clearly evolved to be a core business topic of strategic relevance, why Daniel is so proud not having a systemd strategy, but having a sustainable business strategy, and why systemd is such a beautiful innovation driver. So hopefully I was able to encourage you and inspire you to accelerate on your systemd journey you are driving in your organization, because I'm convinced there's either sustainable business or no business. Thanks so much for listening. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. If you could just jump on this mic over there. So this is where we go to the audience very quickly. If there are any questions, I cannot see any hands. It's either because there are none, or I can't see through the lights. Do we have any questions immediately for Daniel? If not, oh, we do, just in the middle here. Now, this is where I break one of the golden rules of presenting, and that's letting go of the mic. So if everyone could behave, I'd be very grateful.
Thank you very much for the great presentation. Given that you are a software company that is, as you explained, involved in, creating the support or reporting of ESG, are you and your team directly give tips and requirements to the developer teams how to formulate their software solution?
Yes, of course. And now it's beautiful for me as well to see so many faces in the room, because when you're on stage with the lights, you don't see anyone. So yes, I'm customer number 0. I'm the co-innovation partner number 1 for our friends and in engineering roles. And let me share the following. Already for 10 years, so since 2014, we at SAP, we announce on earnings day, quarter by quarter, not only about our financial performance, but as well our non-financial performance, like women in management, like employee retention, like greenhouse gas emissions. On the same day, we inform our external stakeholders about that. Now, an employee could say, oh, Daniel, I can't influence that. I'm just one of 106,000. No. On the same day, all employees have access to the systemd dashboard showing the numbers of their team they belong to, of their location they belong to, and they have the full transparency. They can filter the organizational and the geographical dimension. And all these, based on SAP technology, all these learnings over the past years, we use being a co-innovation partner for our colleagues developing the solutions. And they need to do two aspects, two dimensions. One is to come up with solutions meeting the current business challenges and needs we have, like the reporting standards. And second, they need to embed System D in the data models, which sounds so easy, but it isn't. It's a huge investment for SAP to change data models. I hope I was able to answer your question.
Daniel, thank you. We've got time for one further question if there's any. We've got one more. I think the first one was up at the back, which means I have to go all the way up here.
We still have 2 minutes, so if I keep my answer short, we can cover more, because I saw.
Where was that hand at the back? All the way over there. Excuse me. I do apologize. I didn't plan my route, Daniel. I do apologize.
Now I know why you need so much time for a question.
Thank you. I was wondering if you could share a bit about your sustainability governance model. How often do you meet? Do you gather kind of people from around the business quarterly or so?
Yeah, first it starts with our supervisory board, being headquartered in Germany. We have the German governance system in place, where I report at least once a year to them. Just in mid of April, I had a session with them, informing them about our performance, informing them about the key priorities and the strategic approach, how to achieve these targets. Then second, it's a key topic in the executive board. And then third, we have as the highest body from a governance perspective, the ESG steering board. Just next week, we have the next session with the leaders from the various line of business, either the KPI owners like Supriya, being our Chief Diversity Inclusion Officer, being the owner of the Women in Executive Roles, KPI is an example. And then we have as well people from cross functions like Sebastian being our Chief Strategy and Operations Officer, or Sebastian being our Chief Controller and having a huge finance responsibility, or Christopher being the Chief Accountant from the reporting. And by the way, they built up teams for non-financial controlling and non-financial reporting. I'm super proud of that. I told my team we need to be proud of handing over these tasks, and we focus more on these new aspects. So that is our governance. And below the ESG steering board, then we have net zero steering committee. We have for AI ethics a steering committee, for the human rights steering committee. So this describes our overall governance structure, which is great, which is definitely not a reason when we will not meet a target. So that is quite powerful and strong.
Okay. Daniel, thank you so much. I'm afraid that is all the time we have for questions with Daniel. We'll be back in just a moment with James Gowan, SVP Global Supply Chain Sourcing at Verizon. That'll be in a moment. But for now, Daniel, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you. Thank you.